How's it going, everyone? It's Gadgets Boy. Welcome to another video. And right about now, I'm sat in the brand new Mazda MX-30 EV. So this is an electric vehicle, and it's one of the smoothest ride I've been in a long time. And it's got so much going for it, but also got some bits in there that some people might check out first and straight away just write it off. But don't write it off, because there's a method to the madness. So looking around the car, it's a beautiful looking car. It's got those big bumpers on the back and those black arches, wheel arches all around it. Gives it that sort of like adventurous look, gives it that SUV look. So this is actually classed as a SUV, and for me, I think it feels compact. It doesn't quite feel quite big, but it's still got enough space, enough headroom. As you can see right now, legroom's good as well, for both the passenger and people sat at the front as well. The side profile looks good in terms of curb appeal. I think it looks good. If you look at it, it's got this nice little leading lines. It looks really good. There's nothing I can really say, nothing bad that I can really say about it. I think for the price that you're paying for it, between £25,000, I think, sorry, starting from around £28,000, I think, and going upwards just over £35,000. You are looking for a bargain here, really, to be fair, in terms of design and what you get for your money as well. I call it a bargain. Doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a premium quality car, and it's got some sustainability elements to it as well, which I'll talk about in terms of the interior. Going around to the back as well, you see the tail lights. They look really cool as well, snazzy in some ways. I love that cylindrical sort of look to the edge of it. It just sort of like pokes out of the back, which looks interesting. And again, the headlights as well, it sort of has that Mazda DNA in terms of design as well. The way it just pokes out and the way it's got this cut shape to it as well. It's just really nice and snazzy. And if you see that at night time in your mirror, you might mistake it for a different car entirely, but it actually looks really good. I quite like that about the car as well. I'm trying to think of what car this reminds me of, with those big bumpers and like the black sort of detailing around it and stuff. But the main thing here is this is a red car. I don't know the official color on the top of my head, but don't hold me to that. But it's a red car basically, and it's one of my favorite. It's my favorite color. I'm about to say one of my favorite colors, but it's actually my favorite color. I love a red car. Let's not forget the freestyle door, which is reminiscent of the RX-8 coupe, which some guys might remember from the early 2000s. But basically, to get in the back, you have to open the driver's door first, and then you get access to the back area, which in practice is decent. It means you get better access to the back seat. But the dangerous thing here, though, is if you happen to close the driver's side first and you slam the second door onto it, you end up bashing the driver's door. So do bear that in mind in case you have anyone that's clumsy. The MX-30 is actually one of those cars that actually looks like a petro, ICE car when you see it on the road. It doesn't have a lot of like electrical looking elements to it, even the alloys as well. So you get 18-inch alloys on both front and the back. I think the way you'd notice straight away is the number plate, because it comes with that new green sort of corner on the number plate, which is something new with the electric cars in the UK especially. Also, when you start the engine, when you drive it around, it's got this fake engine noise as well. So again, when you sat in the car, it gives you a feeling that you're driving a petrol car. So it just makes it feel as normal as possible, so you don't feel like I'm driving an electric car. But it's still quiet in some sense, but not too quiet like you'd get on a normal electric car. This is also capable of one pedal driving, so engine energy recuperation. So again, you can use the paddle shift on the steering, which is not for changing gears, it's for adjusting how that works, how intense you want it to be. So if when you take your foot off the throttle, it just means that it slows down for you as well, and also regain some energy as you do so. So energy that would have been wasted otherwise, you regain that into the battery, which you can also charge as well with fast charging station. I think the maximum you can get out of this is like 50 kilowatts charging station. So with that, you're looking at 30 minutes to get this back up and running, so you don't have to worry about waiting too long if you find a nice DC charging. So if you do AC charging at home, you're looking at a bit longer to charge that. So this is something that you'd get normally at home, something that I get at home as well. So I can charge that overnight, that kind of scenario. On the inside, you do get plenty of space, including the boot space as well, plenty of space inside and out. I love the visibility in here as well. It's very visible in terms of driving around. It's easy to see around you when you're parking and stuff. It's also got parking cameras to help you aid you in terms of parking. And like I said, on the interior, you have that mixture of vegan leather. You got like PET bottle, recycled bottles. You got cork as well, all down here, down the cockpit area. And you've also got some charging ports. You got two USB-A charging ports, and you got a full-on 3-pin charging area as well. So again, if you have a laptop in the car, you can easily charge your laptop whilst you're charging your car at a charging station. It's a smart move because when it comes to entertainment, I'm not losing hours in terms of work hours. If I got work to do, I can still sit in the car and get some work done while it's charging in there as well. I love the finishing, like in terms of the stitching around the car as well. It looks really nice. The steering wheel itself has got a nice soft leather finishing on it. You have heated steering, heated seats as well, so you can adjust those to keep yourself nice and comfortable for both the passenger and the driver as well. In terms of sound system, you have Bose sound system. I believe this has got 8 speakers in there. They have 5 different trims, and the top trim level gives you 12 speakers in there. But I'm not sure if this is the top one or the 8 speaker one, but anyway, you get Bose sound system in there, which sounds fantastic as well. I've been blasting some songs in here, some music in here. In terms of gadgets in here, so the instrument cluster is digital, so it's not the analog type that you get in the center. The 2 sides where you get your energy and your energy information and your rev counter, that kind of stuff is still kind of analog, as you can see here. But the center bit there gives you digital, so you can view different informations on there, different information on there for lane keep and all that kind of stuff. Moving on to the center, you have a 7-inch display here to control things that you need to do quickly all the time. So like temperature, climate control, it's there so you can adjust temperature. It's also touchscreen in the middle with some buttons on either side. So you got 6 buttons, I count here, all in total there. And then behind, in front of it or behind it, anyway, the center bit where the gear shift is, the gear shift is quite prominent, it's quite big. It sort of blocks the display a little bit, but it's not a big issue. But behind that, you get some manual dials, so rotary dial, because you can also toggle left, right, and center to move things around. You got your home button, music, sat nav, back button, favorite button, and you've also got your music control, entertainment control, so you can turn it off, change track, and control volume control as well. So moving up, you get that big 8-inch display, which you use this rotary dial in the middle to control. And there, it's very easy to use. I love the infotainment system here. I mean, it's very easy to get on with. The menu system is easy to navigate. You can connect your phone. It's compatible with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay via cable, so you have to plug it in. So as far as I know, I couldn't connect it using Bluetooth, so wirelessly, but you can connect it using cable. Other things in there, it's very easy: communications, navigation system, settings, and so on. But what's really important though is when we go into settings to view some of the safety features. So besides things like viewing your EV settings, so on the EV settings, you can change climate control and charge limit for AC and DC charging. If we go back, you can then change your display settings. You've got sound settings as well. So in sound settings, you can change your bass, treble, listening position, and control some of the Bose input as well in terms of software and stuff like that. Going into the safety features, so in safety settings, the first one, you can see soft like driver assistance system. So you got like Mazda radar, cruise control, speed limit alerts, and driver monitoring as well for fatigue and stuff like that. So if you get tired, it will let you know, it will wake you up, that kind of stuff. Got safety alerts. Going in there, you got things like front cross traffic alerts, you got rear cross traffic alerts as well, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, which are quite good in terms of safety. You got active safety as well, so this is for your distance and speed alerts. So when you're driving up around and about town, it tells you what speed you're going at as well. You got collision avoidance, very important. So you got smart brake support, emergency lane keep system. Again, nice and easy to find. You got your view monitor, parking sensor, speed alert, and pedal misuse alert. So you don't, if you keep pressing it too much or you're not pressing it properly, it will alert you as well, which I find interesting. You also have this heads up display as well, which gives you basic information like your speed and the speed limit of where you are. I love having heads up display. It's something that I never thought I'd get used to and actually prefer to have in a car, because one thing I don't want to do is take my eyes off the road, especially when it comes to seeing the speed. And I don't want to keep looking at the map to check the speed limit and check of the areas that I'm driving in. So that's quite cool to have. But as far as the menu system goes and the infotainment system and all the different settings that you can do in the car, it's very straightforward, very simple, which I quite like. It's very minimalist as well. There's not a lot going on in here, so there's not too many buttons to press and all that kind of stuff. You have plenty of adjustment available. You can adjust the steering wheel, you can adjust the seats as well to suit your comfort level and your preference in terms of driving safety. And that's all you can ask for in a car in general. And as far as EV go, I think besides the range, which is 124 miles, I believe, man, it's not a lot when you compare it to some of the other EVs on the road right now. But when you think about people that this is aimed at, so this could be a second car, this can be a car that you sort of put, you drive around town kind of thing, take kids to school, go shopping, all that kind of stuff, visit the grandparents down the road. 124 miles is more than enough. Of course, in the real world, you're not going to get that. So I reckon you probably get out of it 115, 100 miles or something like that, depending on how you drive and what you've got on in the car, like heating and heated seats, all that kind of stuff. But considering this is for city driving, driving around town, I think that's more than enough for you. But this is not one that you're going to use for long distance traveling. But if you live somewhere close to a fast charging station, or if your route involves a grid serve charging station as well, it just means you can stop by longer routes. If you're going to drive this to, say, from London to Birmingham, it means you can still do it. You can drive it that far as long as you've got fast charge stations along the way, which means stopping for half an hour along the way to take a break anyway, quick snack and stuff, toilet break. You can quickly recuperate and charge again, and then carry on with your journey and back, and vice versa as well, which is pretty cool. So don't knock it off completely. So again, just consider the price versus range and stuff, and compare to what you have on the market and see what's best for you. But for me, I think this is excellent for an electric car from Mazda. The MX-30 doesn't stop there though, in terms of the design and, you know, the infotainment system and all that. The main thing is actually driving and what it feels like when you're driving it. And a testament to Mazda's engineering and technology is the fact that this car feels really smooth when you're driving it on the road. Whether you're moving off the line, it's got a nice smooth moving off line mode. So like in terms of the way it feels, it doesn't feel too jerky. So even when you put your foot down, it just gradually just moves off, which is nice when you have a lot of people in the car, for example, that feel safe. It fills you with sort of confidence that you're okay. The other thing is 0 to 40 when moving off the line as well feels good. So when you're moving off, say, a roundabout, or you need to quickly overtake someone, there's no issues there at all. Past 40 miles per hour though, that's when you start to struggle in terms of speed, because the top speed on this is around, I think, 85 miles per hour or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's not a lot. So when you get on the motorway, you might struggle in that area. So you might have to keep moving away from that right-hand lane when someone's behind you, bullying you out of the way. Smooth driving doesn't stop with just driving on a straight line as well. Like, I'm driving on this windy country road right now, and even when you're cornering and when you're going along these roads, it just feels good. It feels really well planted on the road. For such a car that's not designed to be a sport car as well, it's actually quite interesting. I quite like that. It feels really good. And then you can use the paddle shift as well to adjust that brake energy recuperation system. So you can turn it off completely if you want, or you can adjust it so basically you can use one foot to control the car in terms of braking and moving off the line as well. Something else worth mentioning is that engine noise that's been added as well. It's a fake engine noise, and it just makes it feel normal, like you're still driving just a normal car. For petrol heads, one thing that puts them off electric vehicles is the fact that you just can't hear the sound, even with the faster ones. So when you put your foot down, you hear nothing. But with this one, let's see if you can hear it. It's so subtle, it's not too loud, but it's there. It gives you that sensation that it's still there as well, which I quite like. And the heads-up display as well looks really bright. You can adjust the tilts and brightness to suit your need as well, which is pretty cool. If there's anything I would change though, is the steering. The way it feels, it's too soft for me. I'm a big fan of a nice stiff steering wheel, which means that when I'm driving, I want to feel connected to every turn, every twist and turn what I do in the car. But with this, it just feels really soft, and some people might like that. I think people that drive around town, which is what this car is particularly aimed at, it just means there's no stress in terms of turning and driving, you know, fatigue and all that kind of stuff, because having a stiff steering can take a toll on your arms. Anyway, that's it for the Mazda MX-30, guys. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well, and I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. In the meantime, let me know what you think of the video. Please do subscribe as well. It does help me out. Smash that like button and share it as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.